everybody. I'm DM Craig.
I'm Silver.
I'm Dalhis.
And I'm Lucia.
And welcome back to Valaclaci.
I immediately run to Lucia.
Okay. And you
what
guys,
her condition is.
Yeah, you guys are, in my head, if the battle's over, you guys are going to be able to stabilize. I'm not going to make you roll for stabilization on this.
It's fair.
Okay.
So you,
I mean, because I guess the rules are we have to wait until she probably gets hit points, and then
yeah,
right.
You guys are going to need to take a little break to make sure she feels better.
Okay. And heals everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. But if she's down for the count, and I guess let's put it this way. At this point, she's down. We would be looking around and all that stuff. Do we feel like we're okay for the moment?
Yeah, you guys are feeling like you're okay for the moment.
Okay. In that case, I would go. Say just take the time to say because I can't do anything as far as healing wise. I'd like to go and just quickly mend the clothing and what have you that we have. Meaning like for Lucia and I, we were stabbed through our tunics and what have you. So I want to use spell mending to fix it. It's a cantrip. So I can just
successfully
just fix it
mend the clothing.
Yeah, no needle and thread needed, bitches. I'm the greatest. So I basically get us cleaned up, if not for all the blood.
All right.
So
you guys have survived your first encounter.
I was going to search the bodies.
You go through and you search the bodies. There's not much on them besides their raggedy weapons that they're stabbing you with. They're sharp, but they're not.
Okay.
Can we tell what they are exactly?
Yeah, kobolds. They're coming in, trying to hunt as a little pack to try and take you guys down. Brian, this area has those. You're actually surprised you hadn't kind of run into them before. Even so, you had kept everybody abreast of the whole situation too, so they knew that. But everybody knew, like, hey, we're out in the woods. Things can come at us. Who knows what can come at us? So, all right, yeah. So you guys survive your first night,
and at that point,
or your first encounter.
My character is just it goes into a corner to puke behind a tree. Oh god, because I died once and then I came back for some reason.
Okay, so basically this night now, since Brian and Lucia are doing so bad, Dalhis, you're pretty much going to have to take the entire night shift if you guys want to keep somebody up, because these two definitely need they definitely need to rest up.
Okay. That's not a problem.
Okay.
They can carry me tomorrow.
Both our characters' strength scores with nat 20s couldn't carry
I think my character weighs as much as probably your arms.
I know. Your face was priceless.
So I want to be up front. The amount of fucking nat 20s these little kobolds hit against you guys was stupid.
You think?
I was like, you're joking, right? I was like, but I knew the damage they could do was not going to be enough to like put you away for good. And I couldn't remember how much HP Lucia had left, so I didn't know. I couldn't remember how much she took the first time. I was like, I don't know if she's gonna go down during this or if she's not gonna go down. So, but I kept rolling it. I was like, you're fucking serious, right? I was like, but I'm gonna try as much as possible not to alter rolls just to keep things going a certain way.
I mean, when you said my guy got stabbed in the heart, I was like, oh.
But then you came back with your natural 20.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, granted, I literally that entire fight, for the record, for those of you counting at home, I literally didn't get a single hit on anybody. Not one. Not. I didn't do one bit of damage that entire fight.
It just continues, man. Because you had that problem when we played our other games too.
It's like, oh well, don't worry, you revived yourself to be a bullet sponge some more. It's like, god dang it, just hit a fireball.
I like how you're the glass cannon, but you're the bullet sponge, and then Burke hasn't gotten hit once.
Yeah, I know. The one with the most hit points and everything.
Man.
Okay.
So
go ahead. So
yeah, I would just say that if we're, I'm assuming it's the morning at this point.
Yeah,
you guys continuing on. Where are we going from here?
No. We can cut. I mean, I know we got to probably cut out. Or whatever.
I've still got time left.
I've got time.
What do you?
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. So, I mean, we started at about 7. So if we were keeping with tradition, we'd go for another about half hour, something along
That's
those lines.
fine. You're fine.
I was like,
Well,
that was
7 my
only
time.
30 minutes ago? What the fuck?
7 my time. I apologize.
No worries. No worries.
So, you guys go through and you end up kind of deciding that you're going to take. You'll try and move a little bit, but you guys really kind of just took a day or two to really. You guys took a couple days to make sure you guys were both back into full working order.
Okay, so I'm gonna mark my stuff back up.
You guys,
to full
you guys
then,
are back
so-
up to full strength. Lucia is back up to full strength. There was a time though when Lucia was recovering the first night that Dallas, you were kind of worried about her. She looked like she was having struggles. If there was pain, if there was, or what was happening. For everybody else, for somebody that would have been, what's your wisdom, Burke?
13.
Okay, so you are enough to where you didn't know. You've seen this happen before with others that have battled, where you are. Basically, I'm trying to think of a different way of saying PTSD type things where you're a little bit more shocked and you didn't know if it was something like that because you've seen people come back from battle. And the following nights they had a hard time doing stuff. So you didn't know what was going on there. And again, Lucia, when you've woken up a couple times, you're getting a stronger and stronger feeling. You're not really able to vocalize or figure out what that is, but you've just got this. You're starting to get this kind of like feeling in the pit of your stomach, and you're on high alert to figure out. You're like in your own head trying to figure out what is this? What am I? What's going on here? So, as you guys are starting to kind of get back into normal motion and normal movement, traveling west, you see a
Southwest.
southwest. Yes, you're right. Do I have the map set correctly so we can look at it, or do I have the name cards on it still like a jerk?
Don't be a jerk.
Nope, I just like throw everything. Yeah, you don't have names now. So you guys are kind of traveling along this ridge here, and you guys had gotten to about here, right?
We're in the woods, and that's where we got. That's where we were attacked.
This is where that battle was.
Okay, cool.
And so,
Okay.
coming up, you coming down the a little bit more of a road. It looks like you're hitting more of kind of like a main traveled road. Nothing hugely like some kind of highway in these areas. Nothing where that there's plenty of travel, but there's enough where it's very well, very much a road. You do see a cart coming about. You guys are starting to, since you guys have had to take a couple extra days to rest up here and there, and you're trying to live off the land as much as possible, but you're going to start running out of provisions soon. So, you need to stop and try and stock back up on things. So you see this cart coming by.
Okay.
I will stay silent on this one. People are usually, intimidated.
I know. What was it? Why don't Lucia and I go up and talk to him if you want to kind of hang back a little bit? So that makes sense.
I will sit. I will be smaller.
Lucia takes down her hood and nods.
So I'd like to try to put on my best fake smile. And approach the cart with a eager wave. Hello there.
Okay. So, the cart guy comes up and you're seeing this. There's a dwarf. I don't know. Do any of your guys know much about being able to distinguish between types of dwarfs? I don't know if that's something that we need to.
No, I wouldn't. My character wouldn't.
So you see a dwarf coming up.
It's a female with a beard.
A shorter dwarf. And he's just got these crazy clothes on, just flamboyant and just colorful. And it's just from everything you guys any of you have ever heard about dwarves. This is not the type of clothing you're used to seeing on a dwarf. He looks flamboyant as hell with his stylish, and he's got his beard very intricately braided. And he kind of picks up his right hand off the what do you call it? The reins. And then he waves at you and he's like, hi, how you doing?
Oh, good morning, traveler. Is it morning?
Yeah, morning.
Right? Morning, afternoon.
Early afternoon at best.
Good day, traveler.
Good day to you too.
By chance, are you a traveling salesman?
Salesman, no. Not traveling, at least. I have taken my wares from my small village in the hills to the north. I've taken our wares away and just sold them to the town to the south here. And I'm heading back up to our home now, or my home now.
Oh, I see. That's a shame. By chance, what town did you just come from?
I came from Araya, and I will spell that out for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let me move this up here. Dunk down. So it is. Are you serious? I moved it screens and it unzoomed. You heard me, unzoomed. Araya, I guess is how you probably say it. ERERA or RIAR. Araya. I'll say Araya. Araya.
Can you spell that one more time? I'm sorry.
It's in the Get Dunked On
rolls.
That's where you just came from, and you say your hometown is to the north?
Yeah, just a small little village of just my family clan, and a few others of other hill dwarves live up there.
Very interesting. By chance, what wares do you sell to Araya?
We are simple farmers. We are the hill dwarves, and we just go through, and we might have a few bit of produce that we come down and sell, but our main is working leathers and from the hides of the animals that we raise, the livestock we raise, and making raw leather material for the craftsmen down in Araya to handle.
I see. It's fascinating. As I turn to Lucia, give her kind of shoot her a kind of a look, like look at her, look at the guy, like anything? Yeah.
Lucia just says that we should go to. How are we saying this?
Araya.
I see. Well, my companion, you've made a sale today, my friend. You sold us on Araya. I think we're going to go and visit the town. That sounds lovely. Can you tell us a little bit about it? Is there anything we should know?
Just your humble town, just like a lot of the towns around in this area. Have you ever been to Valethorn?
Valethorn. It doesn't ring a bell. I'm going to try to bluff.
Okay, can you roll for me?
Or I guess it would be deception in this case, right? Or would it be?
Whatever.
Yeah, probably deception.
Just
deception. Okay. I don't get my modifier.
I'm gonna put the modifier on there.
You said, oh, I do? Okay. It's a D20 plus 3, and I rolled a 10, so it's 13.
Your best roll yet.
Thanks.
I'm not sure how to describe the town. It's a little bit bigger than Valethorn. I know that's nearby, and based on the road you're on, I thought that maybe you'd be coming from that way. But you're gonna have your humble merchants. One of the leather workers down here is really good for this area. Not like those big city folks that have the massive operations going on, but for this area, he's good. He's good with the insert tools that are used for making leather work. So that's why I like to go there instead of Valethorn, because it's not too much of a difference for my travels. But you're gonna be able to get some of you'll be able to restock. Looks like you guys may have been a little worse for wear recently. You guys look a little tired and hungry, so you'll be able to fully stock back up. And if you are traveling, you'll be able to stock back up there.
Oh, I appreciate that. And word of warning, we ran into some kobolds recently. They might be in the area, so keep an eye out on your travels, good sir.
Oh, thank you so much.
No, not a problem.
What's your name, sir?
Let's get it. My name? Mm-hmm. My name is, and I use my deception skill yet again, and I'm going to go with my I'm Elron Hubbard.
Did you roll?
No, I haven't rolled yet.
Yeah.
I rolled a d20 plus 3, which totaled out to a 10. So I rolled a 7 plus 3.
It's a funny name for a half elf like you. My name's Ingen Heaton-Rolgeruger.
Ingen, you're good people. You're good people.
And just in case you want that
I
name,
go to shake his hand.
That is the name.
I want to shake his hand as I say goodbye to him.
Okay.
Ingen
Heaton-Rolgeruger.
I love that name though. Heaton-Rolgeruger.
As he passes me, evening, Mr. Heaton-Rolger.
He waves his decadent, bright green, almost fluorescent green tapestry from the right hand, which is different from his left hand, which was a bright pink. And he had purples and golds and everything else, so just completely flamboyant. Okay, so is that what you guys are gonna do? Are you guys gonna head down to Erire?
I turn to the group and say, definitely we should go there, but just in case, so we should come up with a good cover story. And I think it's in that flamboyant dwarf gave me an idea of a cover story. Go with me on this. What if anyone questions why the three of us are traveling together, we tell them we're part of a traveling show. In the off chance we get stopped, we need a cover story as to why we're here. We can't tell them we came from Valethorn. So we're going to need to come up with something.
Why can't we?
Well, because if they can trace us back to Valethorn, we're wanted criminals. And if we get caught...
I forgot.
That's okay, buddy. We'll get some beer and we'll forget a lot together.
Yes.
Craig.
What's up?
Would my character be aware of this town?
Let me check. I know it was on the very Fritz.
The Fritz.
So I would say...
It wasn't through her travel path, but it's close.
Yeah. It's kind of close, but I would say no. There is a couple other cities in my head that you would know about, but this one, not so much, or at least you wouldn't know much about it other than hearing the name, I guess.
Okay, and since my intelligence and wisdom are both decently high, am I going to have a pretty good idea of where we are in relation to my home?
You're gonna have a good idea with that.
All right, so I tell the group, I'm gonna tell Silver and Dalhis that my home is to the southeast of this town.
I then ask, would you like to go home? We can make a quick jaunt. I wouldn't mind.
It depends on how quick of a jaunt it is. How far? You say it's to the southeast. Is it? Are we talking
when she
walk?
When she describes it to you, it'll be a couple days walk. But Brian, your character knows it's not. How do I say this? You know, you feel it would be this is how it would be. It's not as long of a walk or as long as of a travel as you know that you're trying to go right now. It is
Got it.
It's out of the way, but it's not egregious.
Got it.
It's gonna take a couple days to get there, but you will but based on the conversations when she's describing how far away it is, you know that you're like, oh, that's not a drop in the bucket, but in terms of just saying, it's a drop in the bucket compared to the total time that you guys are about to travel.
Well, in that case, then would we want to go there after stopping at Erire for supplies? Because I don't know if we can make it. Or say I'm not. This is the actual question because I'm not sure how much supplies that we have left to make it between Erire or between here. Could we go straight there, or would we have to go to here where we're at currently to Erire?
Lucia tells you that you would probably want to. You guys are going to want to stop for supplies first.
Got it.
You guys are basically out anyway, and it's still going to be a day or two travel.
Okay. Well, but
it's over area that Lucia knows well. She knows it very well. So,
gotcha. Well, Lucia, do you want to go home? Is that something that you're interested in?
I think maybe we could get some extra help if we stopped by.
That's fair. And to be honest, we could probably use the help at this point. So I'm in favor of going to Oriar and then swinging by there if you can, if you think there's even a chance for us to get more assistance. Because believe me, this is not a fight I'm going into believing we're going to win easily. Dalhis, I'd say thoughts on this, bud.
I'm good. I like meeting new people.
As both of them answered this, Lucia, she feels that same flutter that she can't quite pinpoint, but now she's starting to kind of get it more and more of what her subconscious or her whatever you want to say, something inside was kind of agreeing with. That every time once Silver answered, she got that same flutter of relief, and then again with Dalhis when he confirmed that the whole group was willing to go back to your home, Lucia, that relief came in a huge wave. That you knew this was you picked up. That's exactly what this whole feeling was about. Whether or not you say that to the group or not, but
okay. To Oriar we go.
So you guys get into Oriar. What are your plans? I'm assuming part of it is going to be getting provisions and stuff so you can
restock,
travel. Yep. But other than that, you guys are in town for.
Is it like another day walk?
Yeah. No. You get there that night. You kind of met up outside the town a little bit. You ran into the guy as he was traveling north, and you guys were trying to kind of still head south a little bit. So you guys only takes you guys are on a more of a road now. So
okay.
Traveling went quite a bit quicker.
Gotcha. But we made it into the town by the evening,
yeah,
right?
You guys make it into evening.
All right.
I guess you could think like somewhere between 6 and 8 or something like that.
All right, gang. Here's what I'm thinking. Bar tonight, resupply tomorrow, on the road to Lucia's home, let's say by late afternoon. What do you think?
Works for me.
Lucia? If we're going bar hopping, we need our.
Lucia shakes her head and states that she's never stepping foot into another bar.
You know what?
We just need to get you a couple of drinks, my lady.
He's right.
It'll be good for you.
You know what? I would like to try to use my persuasion.
I promise I will not use my acid breath in the alley, wherever it may be.
And I promise to do my best not to pick a fight.
Lucia kind of smiles at their comments, but states that she would still rather not step into a bar and is instead going to look for a church.
I would like to try to use persuasion to convince her to go to the bar with me. In Dalhis, of course.
Is there a 5% chance that he can talk you into it, Michelle?
No.
Okay.
Not even 5%?
She's pretty firm on this.
Okay.
Well, never mind.
If there would have been a 5% chance, I would have let you try and get a anatomy on it. But since it's character to character,
saving throw.
since it's character to character, she's.
Oh, come on, Michelle!
She's not in it.
How about this? All right, you don't have to, but if I roll a nat 20 and you roll a 1, then we go to the bar.
All right, fine.
Yes.
I gotta see this.
Even though that's your 5% chance, but go ahead, show me that 20 that you're gonna get.
All right, hold on.
I want for the things that are important at the same time.
For the most important thing, going to the bar. 3, 2, 1, roll. Oh! I rolled a 19.
There's a 19 and a 5.
19,
wow.
19 from Silver. And
there
Lucia
he
rolls
is,
a 5.
his good rolls again.
Well, that's the sad part is that all my good rolls
worth it.
Well, all of my good rolls, if you notice, come at like opportune moments that are not combat centric. Like when I was looking at the hills and all that stuff, I was like, oh yeah, you need to go south, or oh man, you're gonna try to convince somebody of this. You roll okay, but in battle, it's like nah. Oh man. Okay. Yep. So in that case, in an effort to try to not leave any group members alone, I turn to Dalhis and go, dude, we kind of owe her. So we should just tag along and follow her wherever she goes. Do you mind if we come along with you?
I was going to ask her if she needed us.
Dalhis. I give him what I think is a hard slap. I'd say on the shoulder, like a backhanded slap on the shoulder.
It's like, damn pesky flies.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't even notice it.
She kind of like looks back and forth between them, and it's just like, have either of you ever been to a church?
I've walked past them.
What's a church?
And when the door was open once, I looked inside for a second.
Are they anything like where the monks sit?
I heard they had wine in churches, Dallas. Some of them, not all of them.
Jesus juice? Let's go. Okay, sorry. Okay, that was out of character.
So I go, but regardless if we've ever been, to be honest with you, we're in a strange town. I whisper this part, wanted felons. So I would prefer if we didn't split up.
But okay, what is this? A Church of Apollo, by the perchance?
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
There are more than one.
I turn to Dallas and do the pantomime of like blowing my brains out with a bow because it's medieval times.
Yeah, Lucille is kind of shocked and just kind of briefly explains that there are multiple deities that are worshipped.
By your race, by half elves, or by everyone?
I turn to him. Hey, don't look at me.
I tell him anyone can have faith.
Interesting.
I give a slight scoff.
You know, that was one thing we in the monk world never learned was religion. You know, we worship our ancient dragon ancestors. You know, where our magic comes from, if you can call it worship.
I suppose it would be a form of it.
Fair enough.
I turn to Dallas and go, I'm keeping my opinions to myself.
As you wish. Lead on, my lady.
We're following wherever Lucia goes.
All right, so Lucia is scoping out the town to see if she can find a church.
As you're scoping things throughout, you do end up coming upon what looks like would end up being a church. And on the front of it, you've got... Where'd it go?
I'm sorry, it has what?
I apologize. On the front of it, you've got... on the front of this building, which it kind of just reminds you of a church, has a picture of a blooming rose over a grain. It's kind of like chiseled into above the front entrance.
So, okay, hold on.
So I guess it depends upon your knowledge of other gods and other religions.
So, I mean, I have a +4 bonus into religion.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
And history, so
yeah, let's just
and
do
investigation. So I mean,
let's do a D20 +5 just to see kind of if this happens to be. I hate to do this to you, but I do have a reason why I'm doing it.
I understand. I just, with it as high as it is, like I don't know if I'd recognize it as anything.
What do you mean you don't know if you'd recognize it as anything?
Like I'm just wondering if I would recognize it as anything, being that I do have such a high.
Okay. So yeah, you do know, you're trying to think back into anything that you've read and learned about, and this seems like it's something you kind of remember. You're knowing that the blooming rose over the grain is a goddess of agriculture, and you're kind of slipping on the name at this exact moment, but you're sitting there going, I remember seeing that, and you remember kind of piecing together the grain and agriculture, and you're kind of you've melded that together. So you know that you're in a church of agriculture.
Are there any lights on in it, or does it look like it's probably shut down for the night?
It looks like it's there's no lights on inside. You don't see anything moving on the inside either.
All right, so she turns to the group and says, I don't wish to disturb them tonight. I'd like to come back in the morning.
So we're going to come back to see your friends at Apollo?
This is not a church of Apollo, but I would still like to speak with them.
To be honest with you, it's kind of a risk talking to anybody in any town. What's so important that we have to talk to, these people if they're not even from your church? He asked quizzitively.
She kind of narrows her eyes, kind of looking a little angry, and says that I'm trying to figure out how to word this. I don't like barging forward without knowledge, and churches are a source of knowledge.
Well, I guess I can kind of understand that. I'll make you a deal, though. since we can't go in there tonight, we go to the bar, you buy me one beer, and we'll come back here first thing in the morning. What do you say?
She throws a coin at him and storms off toward the inn.
I turn to Dollhiss and give him the thumbs up.
Yes, let's go. Free beer.
And we would like to drink. I'm assuming the inn is like a hotel and has a hotel bar, so we're just gonna stay close. It's like to the room at the inn and just have like two small beers or whatever that equivalent is. Like nothing like that's awesome. Gonna get you wasted. But
so Michelle, I just want to make sure, was that you flipping the coin like in agreement? Like, here's your drink, I'm coming with you, or
no,
are you
like
going
kind of
to sleep?
Throwing at him, irritated because he won't shut up about this drink, and then like
yeah.
So is she storming off on her own, going elsewhere, not going to the bar with them?
No. She went back to the inn, and so we followed.
But she went to bed.
Yeah, that's what she said. She went to bed.
Okay, that's what I was making sure. I must have missed that.
Yeah, so I was saying I threw the coin at him and just immediately headed for the inn.
Okay.
Yeah, she just pieced out, but we kind of followed her and just basically drank in the same building and then went right to bed as well there at the end.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you guys,
that was our goal. Was just to like something. We were not trying to have a repeat session. We were going to get wasted. We were just going to have a beer.
Okay. No, you know what? I've got an idea. Both of you, the two drinkers, please roll a d20.
Oh God.
Oh no. We were good this time.
There's always the best of intentions.
This must have been combat centric because
after 2 or 3 drinks that you guys were in there, that was kind of the max. Dollhiss is all right. He's trying to talk you like, no, we've got to go to bed. We've got to go to bed. We said we're going to go to bed. We're meeting up at the church the next morning. And Silver's just like, come on, we can do one more. But Dollhiss prevails. And
I just pick him up.
He comes willingly, begrudgingly, but still willingly. You guys all head up to the room that you guys had purchased earlier, our rooms, or however you guys went about it.
Sure. I would be willing to share a room with Dollhiss, cut down on the cost.
Yeah.
We've been sleeping together outside.
To be fair. My character would have been okay with sharing a room with everybody, but in this case, I'm sure Lucia would have had her like being religious sort of. I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, Lucia, on this one, but we would have paid for probably 2 rooms, so she would have her own.
Yeah, she would definitely still separate at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would be curious as to why.
She's also irritated, so.
Yes.
Yeah. No, of course. Yeah.
Do you guys have your do you guys have money?
I do.
I have
shit. I mean, like, do you guys have the numbers?
Yes.
I don't.
Yes.
Exactly.
I
do. There's a roll you can do to see how much money you have to start off with.
I have 13.
I have mine.
That's why I probably would have pushed for a room, because we've been sleeping outdoors together anyway.
You have 13 gold pieces. Is that right, Burke?
I have 13.
Gold pieces, right?
Gold pieces.
Yeah, I was making sure it's not like 13 bronze pieces.
No. Gold.
Okay, so you've got 13.
Does anyone know what the roll is?
Yeah, I had it. Let me pop it up.
You might be able to get it faster than I can.
You're going to find it faster than me. I don't even know where I'm looking.
All right, you are a cleric?
Yes.
5d4 times 10.
Can I do it times 10? Well, I guess
just do 5d4 and then we'll add 0.
Yeah.
So 120.
You have 120 gold.
Hey, we're twinsies.
But I probably spent 20 of that or so on my starting equipment. Or does that not count?
No, don't worry about that. I'll tell you guys when you guys are taking out gold, or if there's something that we need to do with gold. So I'm assuming, since you two have talked a lot before, and you guys have had drinks before, you guys got like wasted one night.
Yeah.
Did Dollhiss ever let him know like the money situation, or did he even think about what he even thought about?
No,
like mentioning that he doesn't have a lot of gold on him comparatively. Like obviously
not till tonight, I would say, when trying to convince everyone to get one room.
Okay, so but would he have said something tonight, like because what I'm going to do is I would say that over the last couple days, like resupplying things that you bought while in Valethorn, like the drinks and whatever type of stuff like that. I was just going to go through and take out like, and counting the rooms tonight, you know, it was going to be about like, I don't know, 3 gold each that you've paid just to resupply. Because remember the gold is like $100 bills.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right. I gotcha. I'm cool with that.
So like I was thinking it'd be kind of that way, about 3 gold each, but I didn't know if there was any conversations that Dalhis had, like if you had been talking to them about like, hey,
well, I mean, if it makes a difference on the first night when we got wasted, I would have probably bought all the drinks because of the whole situation. You know what I mean? Like okay. My character likes Dalhis because he's a weirdo. Like that's his like no like well no you know that like he has a thing for like he loves weirdos, you know. So he would have probably on that night that like I'm not saying like you not covering the whole journey sort of situation, but on a night where he meets somebody who he thinks is weird and he has kind of like a little drunken adventure with, he probably would have paid for his drinks. So if that takes away 4 from me and 2 from him, I don't know, but. Yeah,
we'll go with that. We'll go with 4 and 2. That over the time, and maybe there's a couple other times you spotted him for things, just like, oh no, I got this round or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And then maybe you only charged him. I don't know. Maybe you only charge like let's just say it was 1 gold, for example. You know, you didn't split it down like 50-50.
For the room, you mean? Or for if for the room itself, if you know, if he's has he let me in on the money though?
I don't know. That's what I was asking.
I was saying tonight would probably be the one when I was trying to convince everyone to stay.
Gotcha. Well, in that case,
I'm gonna say, I mean, Lucia's already gonna have been in a room since you guys started to drink.
Right. Yeah.
And I guess as player knowledge, like she's probably actually pretty naive about the value of money at this time.
Okay. And my character knows it to a T. You know,
I just know
he had his own shop and stuff. But if he told me at this point, like at this point in the journey, right now on that night, and he says, "Hey, this room is really expensive for me," and he told me his financial situation, then I would probably say, well, it's 1 gold for the room. I'll pay for the room if you want to try to play lookout a lot most nights whenever we stay in a town, and I'll call it even. If him and I are sharing a room, like I would be fine with that for a little bit of security. I'd be okay fitting the bill for it if I knew that he was poor.
Okay.
That's what I was just going to kind of see how that went, because I knew Dalhis didn't have as much gold, so I didn't know if it had been something that for some, like if he had even like realized that he didn't have a lot of money, or if it had been like, oh, this is how much it costs, okay, and it was going to be, you know, a problem later because he's out of money and he didn't realize like, holy crap, this caught up, because you are young, you know, you're intelligent ish, but you're not intelligent. You've got some wisdom, but you're not very smart, and so I didn't know if any of that caught up. But if it was something where you're picking up like, oh shit, yeah, let's this is gonna start adding up pretty quick.
Especially if he shared it, you know.
Think about, you know, coming from a monkhood and not knowing the value of money and only having your possessions. It's probably what you're gonna hold fairly dear and be.
Right. I just wanted to see how that conversation went. So yeah, we'll go with Burke was 2 gold over the last for resupplies and everything for the past 3 sessions. You've spent out about 2 gold. Brian, you're at 3 gold or 4 gold, and Lucia, you have gone with 3 since you're kind of doing your own room tonight. All right, so we know for a fact, or at least I have for a fact, that you guys ended up having fun tonight. The 2 drinkers here.
Oh god.
You guys had a fun night, even though Brian or Silver was really trying to push for some more drinks that could have gotten real bad real quick. But you guys still ended up having a fun, nice night, and it's in my head like it was another night that you guys were able to talk and bond a bit more over some drinks.
Here.
Okay.
Lucio, very well rested. Okay, so that's gonna do us for the night, for the session.
Oh man,
that's where we're at. So we got in the first battle, which went
where two of us
great.
technically at one point or another died. Like think about that. In the course of our first battle, two of the three party members at one point died. Effectively.
I think a flea hit me.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, man, oh man, this is gonna be a tough journey if this is our current like setup on that one. Just because if that was a kobold and he just heart shotted me like right away, I was like, oh my god.
Really, in my head, like when I was playing it out in my head, you had swung at him and he'd parried you, and then you just hear the crit sound. You're like, it just kind of fell over.
Oh man, and who knows? Maybe at some point during these D&D sessions, I'll actually land a shot with my magic.
Combat?
No, hey, I participated. I fixed everyone's clothes post fight. You guys didn't know you had a seamstress essentially with you, but through magic.
Awesome. That's funny.
All right. Well,
that was fun though.
Thank you. Not yet. We're not getting to that point yet. You guys have had one battle. We got some other things going on. Yep. You're fine.
You're level 9.
I like divvying out XP at certain points so it kind of fits into it's part of the story in my head when you guys are leveling up and whatnot. And since most of us were talking beforehand that we are going to go for more of a storyline based adventure and not as much battle, so I was gonna go through, and that gave me the idea to go through and kind of put it into different little spots where not like, oh, it's planned, it's right here. It's just, it's going to be free flow. And once I'm like, you know what, they've done quite a bit, let's move them on up. So all right, everybody, thank you three for hanging out with me tonight and playing this game, getting yourselves from Valethorn all the way down to Arir. Of course, the first time we go to has to be one of the hardest ones to pronounce.
Well, yeah, of course.
Arir.
I mean, Valethorn was. I was like, great. I get Valethorn. This one,
Thanks for joining Win in Room for the last.
And thank you everybody else for listening in, and we will see you next time.
Laugh, bitches.